the home to Cyclones of Iowa State. And tonight, it's the Mountaineers of West Virginia in to take them on undefeated, number 6, and with a Heisman Trophy candidate, Will Grier at quarterback. Happy to have you with us, along with Holly Saunders, who you'll hear from shortly, and Spencer Tillman. I'm Tim Brando. West Virginia, quite simply, is a complete package, but it starts with the Heisman candidate, Will Grier.
Yeah, Tim, I don't know if it's the beard, but he has the disposition of a proven veteran. Certainly the numbers bear that out when you look at him. Top 5 in touchdown and for differential, top 3 in points responsible for, and then, of course, his team is undefeated. He's earned the trust of his head coach, Dana Holgorsen, and then his quarterback coach, Jake Spavital. To me, this guy is top to bottom one of the best quarterbacks in the country, bar none. I put him in the top 3.
He's been through so much, no question, and we'll unpack that a bit more for you as the game goes on. On the flip side, this Iowa State team is not at all the same club we saw in Iowa City 3 weeks ago. Thank you. A young man named Brock Purdy, a true freshman who seemingly has come from nowhere to take over this offense.
Brock Purdy has transformed his offense. It's clear to look at it when he does best. We know about that. He runs the football. Take a look at this. Here's a triple option attack, all 3 phases of it. Watch him neutralize his defensive end, who they leave unblocked. He handles that read well. Second level, the safety comes down. Pump fake, Timmy puts him in no man's land, and then has the athleticism to put his foot in the ground and sprint away from those 2 compromised defenders and score. But here's the knockout punch. You talk about 2-dimensional, Timmy. 78% completion through the air. That's strong.
He could have a little more help coming tonight, and Holly will have that story. And here come the Cyclones of Iowa State. And a beautiful night for football. Temperatures right now in the low 50s, could dip into the mid-40s. Little or no wind. And with news on one big addition for Iowa State, and perhaps some that won't be able to play, here's Holly.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. Well, who is a freshman quarterback's best friend? I know you know the answer to this. It's a great running game. It looks like Brock Purdy will have his biggest weapon back tonight in running back David Montgomery. Now, Montgomery missed last week's game due to an arm injury. It was supposed to be a game-time decision today, but Coach Campbell told us yesterday that he will play. Now, I watched David during warm-ups. He looked like he was going full speed, and he looks like he is ready. Now, something else that will help Iowa State's offense is the fact that West Virginia linebacker Dylan Tonkery is out. He will not play. Also, Iowa State will be without defensive tackle Ray Lima today. Just a couple of injuries, Tim, as we get going here.
Iowa State, Holly, won the toss, determined to defer. So West Virginia will receive. Chris Francis, number 41, will kick it away. The Cyclones have gone with the all-black look in prime time tonight. West Virginia with a little white lightning look for the Mountaineers from country roads into the plains of the heartland of America.
They're going to need to stay sober tonight, though.
And this kick is going to be taken by Sims. Well, he'll let it bounce through for the touchback, and West Virginia will have it from the 25. And let's get Tillman's takes.
Well, because of what Holly talked about, Ray Lima not being a part, I think Will Grier is going to be able to stand and deliver in the pocket. And then I think alternately ISU, because Lima's absence, they're going to have to communicate with one another, particularly at that second level at linebacker. To the degree that they can effectively get their calls, their fronts and their coverage together quickly because of the pace and tempo will make a huge difference in their success bid to upset the number 6 team in the country.
Will Grier, magnificent start, as you know, to this season. But he has been prone to some interceptions at times. 21 touchdown passes, 6 picks. He's got Kennedy McCoy in the backfield to open the game. We'll see as many as 4 back there, and he moves ahead for 4. And it's 2nd and 6. Marcel Spears, the leader of the Iowa State defense, comes up with the tackle. There you see the numbers per game. That's 3rd best in the FCS. And he's got such a quick release, Spencer.
He is quick. He's looking at a 2 look. You were talking about a cover 3 look, but just now you see the cover 3. You see the 3 guys who are back there. Look at these guys back here. That's the look that's going to give this team problems. That's Iowa State's best chance.
It's the title 3-cloud look as you see McCoy taking it out of the backfield. They swing it out to him, and Greg Eisworth, number 12, the safety, a big hitter, made the stop.
Tim, that was the coverage, that 3-cloud that really took this conference by storm. It's really an old system scheme, as old as 20 years old, but you recycle things all the time. It is not a conservative defensive look. It is about the front. That's where the confusion comes in. Let's see if West Virginia and that interior line can handle it.
Very interesting talking with both defensive coordinators about this particular set as you see McCoy burrow ahead for about 3 more. Eisworth makes the stop. It'll be 2nd and 7 coming up. John Haycock, admittedly, with a former GA at West Virginia, linebacker coach and assistant head coach Tyson Veit, spent some time with the Mountaineers when Rich Rodriguez was there. He's now with Iowa State and running really a defense that's very similar to West Virginia's, although they don't blitz as much. They go with a little bubble screen out to Jennings, and Gary Jennings is just 2 yards away from a first down. DeAndre Payne makes the stop. As you look at the surfer dude, Dana Holgerson. Dana is one of the all-time guys out there that you'd ever want to meet. Well, I said we would see him. You'll see him in the not-too-distant future.
Well, he's a rare breed. I'm telling you, he's a loose guy, but I tell you, he's one of the refreshing coaches around the league and around college football simply because he's so truthful and down to earth and transparent.
They're 4th in the country in 3rd down conversions at 57%. This is 3rd and short. Grier sacked. Back at the 49 by Spencer Benton, number 58, the senior. And it'll be 4th down in a punt formation coming up.
I'll tell you what, Spencer Benton did a fantastic job of coming from that outside area with great pressure coming up. You can see the intensity that Will's got to deal with. We talked about being able to stand and deliver. So far right now, John Haycock, the defensive coordinator for Iowa State, dialing up some pressure that the big veteran quarterback is having a problem dealing with right now.
Loss of 6. And Billy Kinney will now be forced to punt it away. Had 4 punts for 46.8 a week ago against Kansas. Tariq Milton is an outstanding speed merchant, and he's in safety back at the 15. Tariq Milton, this is again a short punt. He comes up and fields it at the 40-yard line. Only 30 yards on the boot. So outstanding field position here for Iowa State. And let's get Tillman's takes on this side of the ball.
Well, it's time for the young quarterback to do his deal. Play fast and clean. We know what he did in a hostile environment, Brock Purdy, with Oklahoma State. Now he's got to duplicate that to make sure and convince this stop unit that he is the real deal. And, of course, West Virginia, they got to bottle up Brock. If they can do that, then they've got a chance of making this a very competitive game. I think young quarterback, old quarterback, both have similar games and skill sets. We're going to see who's going to win this one. This is going to be one of the more entertaining games, I think, of this week and perhaps in the last 3 weeks of college football.
I don't think there's any question about that. If you've been sleeping on West Virginia, you've missed out. And Iowa State is the best 2 or 3 team in the country. From the 39 on first down. That out pattern is picked off. Well, he just did not see the defender. And why he didn't, I'm not sure. Drayvon Askew Henry with the pick. The preseason all Big 12 and medical red shirt comes away with it from Aliquippa, Pennsylvania.
Well, he was looking for Hakeem Butler. That's the big-time receiver out there. And whether or not he can make it and get to him is another issue altogether. Here's Hakeem here, number 18, just on a little pivot route. He doesn't see it, does Purdy. He just puts it right inside. It should be put it on that outside shoulder. That's an ill-advised pass. Now the thing he's got to be concerned about, Tim, is his confidence moving forward. This is still early right now.
Yeah, the thing you got to remember, as great as he was a week ago, he never had a week to prepare as a starter. And
Absolutely.
That is very unique to an 18-year-old. And he was a late arrival. He's not one of those typical freshmen that got in a semester early. He didn't get here till June. 1st and 10 after the turnover. Grier has the Mountaineers set up.
That's a 3-man rush.
McCoy. It opens wide open for him. He's down to the 15-yard line. Cracked down by Braxton Lewis out of that star position for Iowa State.
Timmy, when you look at the right guard right here, you can see this is going to come up, and you've got 2 or 3 options here to go either direction. Against a 3-man front, take a look at this on the back end. That's some blows being delivered against that 3-man front.
On a 26-yard gain, they'll mark it at the 18-yard line. Out of the shotgun, McCoy again. This time, really good penetration from Jamal Johnson, 92, the nose tackle, a loss of 2.
Timmy, I want you to listen to this hit again. That right there will make you change your mind, man. You come up in there tiptoeing, that'll make you change your mind. That's what football is about. That's the way it should be played.
2nd down and 11 after the loss of 1. It's the beautiful skyline we have here in the middle of America. Little delay to McCoy again. Not much room. Right into the interior of that Iowa State defense, who we touched on early, is without Ray Lima, 76, which means Isaiah Lee moves from nose to the defensive end spot. Mike Rose was also in there to make the tackle. Number 23. He's the inside linebacker. Spears the outside linebacker, that are due in large part for the success of the Cyclones defense.
I mean, this is old school Art Wild stuff. You got three guys in the turnaround, throw inside run game, but they're going to throw it this time.
Looping it for the corner. It is caught. It is Sills. It is touchdown.
Beautiful job of Jake Spavital, the quarterback coach, and Dana Holgerson, who pretty much turns things over to him, letting Will Grier go and throw this up top and letting his receiver go grab it. First of all, it was preceded by a play, same formation, but turned it off into a little basic dive. Love the combination of the play calling there. Here it is, just a little pivot, and then the switch is not picked up by the back end, and it's a touchdown as a result.
That's pretty good coverage by Datron Young. I mean, Young was, he was pretty close there. I mean, he was. That ball was put exactly where it had to be. Sills now with 27 career, Spencer, touchdown receptions. Sills, Sims, Jennings have 45 career touchdown catches between them. 7 for Sills this year. 7-0 West Virginia. Look at the drive after the turnover, 44 yards, and the Sills reception from 18 yards, his 7th touchdown catch of this year. It's been an amazing run. We talked about the balance and the out pitches they have. Spencer, you spoke to it, a half dozen of them or more. Evan Staley will kick this one away, and it's a high pooch that's taken by Johnny Lang, and he's a speedster. Plays a lot in the backfield, gets it out to the 35-yard line. And wow. Well, yeah, welcome to college football. An uninspired effort, some might say, for Michigan State a week ago against Northwestern, and they bounce back. And Northwestern had an incredible comeback themselves, and there's that magnificent ability with RPO, Spencer, from Brock Purdy. Just as you diagrammed in the open, he pulls it off here. Derek Pitts runs him out of bounds. The pump fake.
Yeah, here's the pump fake again. You got pressure coming off the outside, and he avoids that pressure. Derek Pitts goes up in the air, can't make the play, and this is what Brock does. He's an unbelievably gifted guy. He just needs to put them together and make better decisions in the throw game.
Montgomery, not much room for him this time. Stop. The numbers on Purdy, pure and, as they say, right out of the box. 402 total yards. What he's done is pretty amazing, given he didn't start last week against Oklahoma State. They hadn't won there in almost forever. He comes in the second series and turned the Cowboys upside down in Stillwater.
318 yards through the air. That was incredible.
Quick out. It's taken by Landon Akers. Just shy of the 40. And he's got a pretty good quarterbacks coach down there, doesn't he, Holly?
Absolutely, Tim. Brock Purdy came over to the sidelines after throwing that interception last series, and Kyle Kemp sat him down, bent over. He was talking to him, seemed to really calm him down, Tim. We heard Coach Campbell talking about this relationship yesterday. Kyle's really been his mentor.
Yeah, he was a fourth-string walk-on quarterback that went into Norman and cruised to a victory, only to get hurt earlier in the year. There's Montgomery again. That will be enough for the first down. Shea Campbell, number 34, in for the injured Dylan Tonkery, makes the stop, number 34.
Fourth down.
Which makes for an interesting situation here for Matt Campbell this early in the game and trying to, answer what was a big turnover that led to a touchdown. I'm going to be curious to see what his decision will be here.
Well, it will definitely be some insight into his mindset.
Yep.
I mean, we know he can be aggressive at times, but he's been through a lot these last 2 years with this kind of rotating door at quarterback position. Let's see if he's got it in. He's got power formation in there now. Looks like he's going to run it.
50%, 4 out of 8 on fourth down conversions. West Virginia has held their opponents to 58%. 7 of 12 they've given up on fourth down.
Here they coming back to change the formation, which I anticipated. Go the opposite direction.
Montgomery. Good job. Pops free. No one on the back end. David Montgomery is back.
guy right there is super smart. You know what they did? The motion, but what they do, they come back this direction and leave the weak side. Here's the two side. Everything about football says you run to the street. They run to the weak side. Unbelievable job. Nobody back there on the linebacker, the second level to defend him, to stop one of the best running backs in college football. You ask whether or not was Campbell conservative or not, that's a gamble right there. I like his style.
37 yards on the run by Montgomery. He hasn't played in 3 weeks.
Beautiful.
Touchdown! It's Hakeem Butler!
Well, they answered the firm's response with the score in a suit of their own. Here it is, the switch route going underneath into the back corner. It happens all the time. We see it. Guys not being able to discern who their responsibility. Let me tell you, if there is a receiver for Iowa State you don't want to leave alone, it's Butler. Hakeem Butler has range. He's fitted well, high pockets, everything about him. He's a super athlete.
Asali with the extra point. The 5th touchdown catch for Hakeem Butler. The 5th thrown by the true freshman Purdy. Oh, it was Purdy, wasn't it? And we are tied in Ames.
Keep my hands on myself.
The answer, Hakeem Butler. 6 plays, 65 yards. The key play, the 4th down conversion with David Montgomery. And really some outstanding play calling from Iowa State. And that's a job that's been taken over by Matt Campbell after a shift in his staff. He hopes to promote from within in the future, but for the time being, Matt has called the plays for the bulk of his career as a head coach.
You remember yesterday I asked him about that, taking on responsibility. What impact did it have? He says, you know, that's kind of what I do. And clearly on that last series, as we'll unpack in a minute, it had no impact on him. He's engaged.
Sims from his 3. I love the way Purdy stood tall when Askew Henry, number 6, was bearing down on him on the touchdown throw. Petaway for West Virginia. In the backfield again, ahead for a yard. That's about it. 2nd and 9 coming up as you see Braxton Lewis, 33, helping out. Coming up from that star position. A lot of action. These teams rely heavily on their linebacking core and safeties to make plays, and they diversify so often. Most of these players in both secondaries can play either corner or safety positions. Here comes Braxton Lewis. A run blitz. So nothing doing for Petaway, and Jamal Johnson, 92, who is a big-time guy in there. You hear a lot about Bigelow, the nose for West Virginia. Well, this young man, the junior out of Minnesota, can get it done, too. There's Heacock, the defensive coordinator. He's been with Matt Campbell throughout. Came over with him from Toledo.
John Heacock is augmenting the little challenges he's having up front with Lima being out, with some safety support to fill some of those gaps. That's what he's doing to kind of circumvent that problem.
Petaway in the backfield.
Here comes pressure again.
Big-time pressure underneath. It's Jennings. He stopped well short of the 1st down. Great recognition by Eisworth. Staying at home, the strong safety. And as we mentioned earlier, he's a big-time hitter.
Well, despite the second member of the firm getting the ball in his hands, it's about plugging those holes and those voids, playing responsibility, communicating effectively, and then making sure tackles at the point of attack.
Sophomore from Grand Prairie, Texas, Greg Eisworth. Tariq Milton is back deep in single safety, back inside his 40-yard line as Kenny prepares to boot it away. To the 30 and a 32-yarder earlier. This is a line driver that'll bounce. Short. Yeah, very short. He's hit 3 poor punts, really. Only 33 yards on the boot, so quality field position for Iowa State in Pullman between Washington State, the true original mad scientist, Mike Leach, and Mario Cristobal's Oregon Ducks will be huge in that division of the Pac-12, and we'll have it for you in prime time on Fox.
Hopefully we'll get a weather report out of Leach along the way.
David Montgomery in the backfield for the Cyclones on 1st down. Look at that. He is so good after contact. So good. Derek Pitts, number 1. has been running and chasing quite a bit. The corner to take him out of bounds.
Well, Giovanni Stewart, the linebacker, it's a Sam position, number 9. You can see him come up here. That's the first miss. When you are able to make the first guy miss against a man coverage, you're going to get significant yardage.
Problems there.
Wow.
It could have been worse, too. You think about Montgomery. He's carried the ball now 5 times, Spencer, for 67 yards. And you add that to what Brock Purdy can do on the ground with his dual threat capability, and that gives them a 1-2 punch back there in the run game.
Askew almost caused him to bite on that, though. He sure did that in the coverage. That would have been a major mistake.
Well, we've seen those moments of, oh, I've never done this before as a starter tonight. No question. 2nd and 12. Take the jet sweep action. Montgomery will toe to goodness. How good is this kid? And it was an arm injury, a shoulder, high shoulder that was the problem. Having him back, you could tell those legs were never better.
Well, the inside zone, you can see the guard pulling around, coming from this way. You got to be stout, but you better have your head on a swivel so you can see that off guard coming around there. Inside game working for Montgomery.
He's going to get close to 100 yards real quickly, isn't he? Look at that. He hits about 2 on a play that most mortals would have lost 4 or 5 yards on. Stopped by Keith Washington Jr., number 28.
Washington's an outstanding player, a former walk-on, a transfer, and a walk-on, just an unbelievable talent. But this guy right here, number 32, Montgomery, is super. He's dinged up with the shoulder, but there's nothing wrong with his balance or his legs. He is a dangerous ball carrier.
Yes, he is.
Well, look at the spin. You know, he's got that kind of Barry Sanders-esque kind of spin when he's low to the ground. Puts that hand down and pivots.
Nwangwu has come in for him. Over the middle. Yes, the tight end, Kohler. He's got it down to the 2. The freshman from Norman, Oklahoma.
In practice, Tim, they use Y a lot. When he comes down the field here against 2 coverage, he kind of settles in. I saw this play.
Business timeout for injury to a defensive.
Saw that play 3 times in practice, and it was just part of a steady diet. You don't run what you don't intend to execute in real time in the game, and that's another element that makes this offense so dangerous. Complete width and breadth of the field, exploitable because of the tight end.
1st and goal. Montgomery races in. Touchdown.
Timmy, West Virginia, no answer for this unbalanced look here. When they move it, they don't have a solution. They're in place now. It's the inside run game, the exact same play that Montgomery scored on earlier. No solution for the unbalanced look. It's about fitting them up.
Well, that was a hooked extra point. It's no good. So it remains 13-7, but for the first time this season, Will Grier will have to bring his team from behind. 13-7, Iowa State with a first ever lead for anyone against West Virginia. Montgomery proved how special he is on this drive.
Well, invoking the spirit of Troy Davis is showing you some moves. I'm telling you, this is October, Halloween. Some ghoulish effort here inside. The ability to get around you, freeze a guy in his face. Look at him take on people at the end of 3+ yardage after contact. I'm telling you, 32, when he's healthy, there ain't anybody better in America.
Well, you see it. We've attracted 6 forced missed tackles tonight. Having him back to go along with the discovery of Brock Purdy going to make this a lethal 2 and 3 team the rest of this season. Sims is calling for the fair catch.
60+.
Grier 5 of 5 for 49 yards, in some trouble here and scrambles out. Sees the sticks, makes the first down. Had a wonderful conversation pregame with his dad, Chad, who was a high school coach, about what he went through. And Spencer, the last 18 to 24 months were very difficult for him.
Well, he's looking for receivers. You can see it. He's looking all over the place, and there's nobody there available for him. But it shows you the ability for him to find and be patient and make quality decisions.
Yeah, he's made quality decisions both off the field and on. And we'll, as you love to say, unpack that more as the game goes on. All country roads, but there's no taking me home tonight. You're going to have to get this baby done on the road. Behind for the very first time. 13-7 13-7 our scores. We open play here in the second. Kennedy McCoy will remain in the backfield. Number 6, we've seen he and Petaway. No Alex Sinkfield or Letty Brown as yet. We trust that we will.
Safety blitz.
Here it comes. And down he goes. Braxton Lewis.
Tim, the outside blitz, it can come from this direction or this direction. It comes from the high safety on the outside. That pressure right there is what forced the issue at hand. You got to deal with that. When you come from that much depth, you've got to be able to see that coming a long way. Well, that's not a gamble at all, Timmy. That's a slow developing blitz that Will Grier didn't see coming.
Well, the original walk-on has made himself a player out of Overland, Kansas. 3rd sack of the game. That one for 12 yards. Grier, that's a big-time throw that's dropped. David Sills, normally sure-handed over there, dropped that one.
Well, I don't know if you can put this ball on the point anymore. You had the tight end underneath, but again, this one is presented right on the numbers, and Sills just drops it. I mean, he's a member of the firm, but that was certainly not indicative of the excellence that this defines this receiving corps.
Explosive plays have been a real difference maker for West Virginia. It helped them out when they struggled at times a week ago with turnovers against Kansas.
And that's what they, being Iowa State, wants to minimize. Big plays.
Safety valve underneath McCoy. How about that high hurdle out? Ahead to the 35, not quite to the original line of scrimmage. Jake Hummel, number 35, the sophomore, out of Des Moines, Downing Catholic, making the tackle. It's 4th down and a punt formation coming up.
Again, that's a win for Iowa State. And just a tremendous job of playing great defense and limiting them. Very explosive across the board. The backs, even though they've not really run the ball extremely well, they can get the ball to their runners in space. They're just like little receivers, many of them.
Kenny has struggled punting the football, and Milton is pretty far back there, way back at his 20-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to have good field position, though. I think he's need to come back to the field.
And he does not call for a fair catch. He's a speed merchant. Look out. He's got the sideline. And his blocker wouldn't get out of his way. And ultimately, the tackle was made after a 46-yard boot, a 20-yard return. Ezekiel Rose, number 5, will get credit for the tackle. He was moving along, and then, my blocker got in my way. He went out of way. In the early going, it appears, Spencer, that it's the veteran Montgomery that is easing the concerns for his head coach to help out the freshman Brock Purdy.
It's what Holly talked about at the top of the show. Their best friend is a running back. He's got 8 carries, 81 yards. That's really been the difference, and I think you add the formation change, going with the heavy personnel, there's been no solution or answer on the part of West Virginia.
Sheldon Cronin's in the game. Play fake. Purdy's pass. It's a slant. It's Butler. It's a 1st down and then some. He's inside the 40 to the 38. Kenny Robinson Jr. the stop.
Well, the thing about Purdy, he did a fine job of handling the pressure too, Tim. So the pressure's going to come late, and it's going to come from here. Watch him read, keeps his eyes upfield, and takes the hit. Boy, it's a high shot too, but he delivers as they go fast.
How about that pump fake? In trouble, and West Virginia wraps him up. He had really nowhere to go, no place to hide, and Derek Pitts, number 1, out of South Charleston High School in Dunbar, West Virginia, wrestled him out.
He's just got to be careful not to do too much at the end of that play, Tim. He tried to turn back in and use the sideline as your friend and get out of bounds.
Yeah, live to fight another day.
He was trying to turn back to make a play. Yeah, that's crazy.
I thought you made a really good comparison. It shows our age a little bit, but he does have a Bucky Richardson build to him.
Nice call.
The old
good old school
Texas A&M quarterback from years ago.
Absolutely. He does. He's built just like Bucky.
It's the one. There's that speed you were talking about. And flags come down. They may have gotten some of the headgear. Norwood, and trying to tackle him, went a little bit high, and I think may have gotten him on the face mask.
Speed and quickness more important than size and strength. It's going to come back through here, Tim. There's no solution for it. The inside zone read, nothing there, so he bounces to the outside. The only thing you can critique is to put that ball in that left hand so you have the right hand free to prevent the face mask.
Yeah, no malice intended, but just the same, it's a
3 points of pressure, high point in that ball. Love it. Laces, rib cage, top of the ball. That ball's not going anywhere.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 4. half the distance to the goal in an automatic. First down.
Dana Holgerson knows it. This one is going to be a very well-earned win if you can get it. Look at that. Rushing yards allowed per game. They've been great in that aspect up until tonight. 109, so they're almost to their average per game on the season. One of just 5 teams ranked in the top 25 in both offense and defense in that category.
That was the one thing that jumped out as you watch tape. Tony Gibson did a tremendous job in the run game defensively. Not so much in this first half.
Montgomery back in. They go to the wide receiver. That's Milton. Great recognition by the West Virginia defense. You notice how quick they are. S.Q. Henry, number 6, flying to the ball. Had help from Robinson.
Yeah, Kenny Robinson was there on the spot too. So, yeah, that's great team defense. Everybody rallying to the ball to make a play. Outstanding.
Out of the shotgun with Montgomery with him.
X comes eligible now. Let's see if he gets it in the inside game. Throw it.
He's in trouble now. Lets it fly. Incomplete. Only where his receiver, Landon Akers, would have a chance.
Yeah, Butler caught one like that last week, man, right?
He absolutely did.
So, you know, when this quarterback does this, most people just shudder when you're particularly talking about a young guy, but Purdy has demonstrated, albeit a short sample size, that he's able to make that play.
An interesting story on Purdy, who was a late bloomer coming out of high school, took his team to a 6A title game in Gilbert, Arizona. Only Boise State would offer him early. He decided to wait, and boy, oh boy, everybody came after him before Iowa State plucked him away, and he arrived here in June. Purdy, crossing pattern, it's Kohler, the tight end, touchdown!
Timmy, here's why stick right here. Jason Witten made this play so successful. It's an option, gets up the field, turns inside out. That's a total mismatch, and this guy is on fire tonight. Did an unbelievable job. The quarterback took the pressure, standing in the pocket, knows he's going to get hit, perhaps a little bit late, but the wonderful thing is the execution of that play. Quarterback, tight end, and then the game plan to have it in the process. I love this game plan.
Extra point this time is good. This kid's high school coach, Preston Jones, said he was overwhelming at times with the help of his tight end on the cross. Purdy 4 for 4 on the drive and a 13-point lead. Kohler, the tight end, with the touchdown catch, culminating an 8-play, 59-yard drive, his second touchdown of the year. And Spencer, you know, coming into this game, I think the concern for West Virginia was, look, we got a freshman to deal with and tackle Montgomery. Well, they've had a problem with that, no question. But the Mountaineers are the team that usually gets the explosive plays, and yet tonight they've given up the explosive plays.
Indeed, Timmy, and I'm wondering how, you know, Lincoln Riley and those guys down in Norman let this kid get out their backyard. Charlie's racking it up big time, man. Out of Norman High.
Sims. Flags down as he goes down at the 22-yard line. It's time for him to respond. A lot of heat coming. Trying to stay upright, but can't. Down he goes, Jaquan Bailey, number 3. That's the 4th sack of the night. A loss of 10 here.
Ellsworth's coming from depth. That's where the pressure comes late, Tim. You can see the coverage on the outside is there. Everybody's manned up. But it was that pressure on the opposite side of the field. Ellsworth will come and not make it possible for those guys trying to find somebody that's open. There's nobody open because of that seal. They're covered like a blanket on the back end of this John Eco coach defense.
And finally, Bailey brought him down. But you're right, Eisworth forced it, coming with that pressure. Now from his end zone, it's the shallow cross to Gary Jennings, decked at the 12-yard line by Braxton Lewis.
Great call, partner, because it was a shallow crossing route, and what made it viable is that you had another receiver coming underneath it. opposite ends. When you have guys crossing, sometimes guys get confused at the second level. Excellent play calling. Even better decision for Grier to wait until it cleared to throw the ball.
John Heacock's team has 12 sacks in the last 3 games by 10 different players.
That's the 3-man front. Roll into a single safety. More pressure now. Wow.
Grier lets it fly, and it's caught near the line to gain to Marcus Sims. It'll be very close. Looks to be short by about the size of the football. And he's trying to run off a little Charlie horse or maybe an ankle issue here. They're going to be short.
Yeah, they are
West
short.
Virginia has historically gone on 4th downs many times, but not now. Not down by 13. And this home crowd of Iowa State smelling some blood.
Yeah, they really are. And I tell you, these safeties are, Ilesworth in particular, just coming from depth. John Heacock, the defensive coordinator, is dialing up pressure from all over the place. There's nothing conservative about this 3-cloud look.
Billy Kennedy will punt it away, and Kenny gets a good one this time with Tariq Milton taking a fair catch. That's his best boot of the evening, 53 yards. Brock Purdy remains at quarterback with David Montgomery, the lone setback out of the shotgun. Montgomery is met at the point of attack that time by Shea Campbell, who's in there, as we mentioned, for the injured Dylan Tonkery. Fans responding because they thought maybe there was a little too much activity going on post-whistle, but no flag is thrown. 2nd down and 10 coming up.
Tony Gibson, the defensive coordinator for West Virginia, dialing up pressure, commiserate with what has been dealt to him. I mean, they're trying to find a way to get a turnover here, Tim.
The X factor in tonight's game is David Montgomery.
Becomes a little sneaky blitz off the edge.
You're right. From long, and he makes the tackle on the run blitz. Number 11, the redshirt junior from Cincinnati, Ohio's Winton Woods High School.
He's playing that weak side linebacker position. Again, it's a shorter path to the quarterback. You know, when you hear people talk about weak and strong, one thing you can know, if it's coming from the weak side, it's a short side, a shorter distance to the quarterback. It's only 2 people to that side, as opposed to 3 with a tight end out there. So longer distance.
Against the chains this time, 3rd down and 10. Blitz again. Purdy lets it fly. In-man coverage, Butler. He's got it. Boy, they are working Keith Washington over right now in man coverage.
Well, number 28, Keith Washington, we talked about. This guy was a walk-on at one point. He gets that right hand up there late. They're going fast as a result of that play. And again, you can't blame them for doing it. They're doing West Virginia what West Virginia tends to do to everybody else.
Purdy on a little comeback pattern to Matthew Eaton. And number 23, Eaton, targeted for the first time tonight, is stopped at the 22-yard line. And we've got a Mountaineer slow to get up. I think that's Reese Donahue, number 46. The defensive end in that 3-man front for Tony Gibson.
Yeah, they can ill afford to lose him. I mean, he's a key asset for what they're doing on that left side of the defensive end.
Well, you see the 3rd down conversion story. 3 out of 5 for the Cyclones. Mike Warren is coming to the game for the first time. The senior, seldom used this year because of the young backs that have come on strong. Purdy's pass is intercepted at the 3-yard line by Josh Norwood. That is a big defensive play and just what the Mountaineers needed. But did he catch it? Let's take a look.
Jimmy, I think he. Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. If nose of the football hit the ground.
I think more of that football was touching the grass.
Yeah. He sold it beautifully. Got to figure that they'll take a look at it, though. Deshaunte Jones is the intended receiver. They have not stopped plays yet. Touche, Mr. Blandino.
Yes, sir.
He left me speechless there. All right, so they put the ball back now to the 22-yard line. And they're going to try this field goal. And Asali has been perfect this year. He's 8 out of 8. His longest is 37, though. So this will be, I think they're going to officially make it a 39-yard attempt. Possibly 40, but I think it's 39.
Yeah, I think the bigger issue here for West Virginia, if this score happens, is the continuity on offense that they're lacking and unable to establish here on the road. This is tough.
It will be a 40-yard field goal try.
Oh, there you go.
This could be returned. Look out. Picked up and going the distance. Derek Pitts. What a huge play that could turn and pivot this game. Kenny Bigelow blocked it. Big number 40. We were just saying we haven't called his name much tonight until right there. The 6-year transfer from USC knocked it down, and then it was picked up there. Right up the middle, Bigelow. Boy, what an athletic play, Spencer.
Well, he just came through right over the top of the head. And again, the rules would have precluded him from jumping over anyone. Instead, he got skinny and turned sideways, jumped through, and then got his hand up. That's just exactly how you coach that play.
72-yard return. First field goal blocked by West Virginia since 2016 when they did it to Texas. And the extra point is good. Crowd is stunned. Bigelow comes up big. That's why you lift all them weights, right?
Big Bigelow, man. We went to that break on a little REO. Bigelow.
I got to tell you, Spencer, that's what makes this West Virginia team so much better, in my opinion. They're more
transfers?
physical. Well, not only the transfers, but they're deep. You know, they'll play 6 guys as good as Bigelow is. Darius Stills, 56, plays a lot at the nose. Tony Gibson told us this is as deep a defense as he's had at West Virginia, and that says a lot.
Well, he talked about Jeffrey Pooler's another one we haven't seen, number 13. He'll work in that rotation as well. They've acquitted themselves extremely well tonight.
Nwangwu off the short kick.
Nice open field tackle.
Up to the 34-yard line. Texas barely escapes against Baylor after their big win in the Red River Showdown. So much that Rob and the guys can talk about, and Notre Dame really escaped. And by the way, what a problem they're going to cause for everyone in the college football playoff if they run the table.
No question. They are Notre Dame.
Yep.
Texas defense, they had some quarterback issues there.
They did. But that's the game of college football. Yep. It's a game of evolution. You think you have answers? Wait till next week. You'll find out you don't.
College football world is flat.
Yeah. It's halftime here in Ames. 20-14. The Cyclones have the lead. We're going to send you now to Rob Stone, who has the answers at least for tonight. In Los Angeles, it's the State Farm halftime show. Rob, how do you do? In a game that has seen much domination and, oh, by the way, a little Jurassic Park action at halftime. Well, our producer, Jake Jolivet, and our director, Mitch Riggin, take pride in their Purdy pictures. Yeah. Well, we got a Purdy quarterback.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I thought you might like that. But it's been domination, really, for Iowa State, yet they're only up 6.
Yeah, I'm partial to the truck pictures, though. That's because of Purdy that you mentioned. And Purdy in the pocket, he was the key.
Get to see plenty of him in the second half. And they will get the kick to open, as you may recall. They deferred to open this game so they could get it in the second. And Nwangwu will wait and we'll bring it out to the 25-yard line. Holly chatted with both coaches at halftime.
Yeah, tell me, asked Coach Campbell how he plans to continue shutting down this potent West Virginia offense, and he said that they'll continue sending multiples at Will Grier, wants to keep them off balance. Now, as for Coach Holgerson, he told me that the blocked field goal was a huge momentum shift, and just stressed to his guys at the half that he needs them to put the ball in play, especially on offense. Down.
Well, consider this, Holly. Iowa State is 11-3 under Matt Campbell when leading at the half, and granted, these numbers have been really good short of the interception. And that's after a shaky start, Spencer. I mean, he had some mistakes early.
Well, he's taking the pressure and delivering, man.
Butler. Corralled quickly. A group of Mountaineers all arriving and each in a bad humor after a 12-yard game.
It's about staying in the pocket after the cursory fake. And again, he's taking shots, man. We talked about in the open of the show was Will Grier who needed to stand and deliver. It's Purdy who has indeed stood and delivered big time.
Nothing doing for Montgomery this time. West Virginia all over that. Shea Campbell, the first to get there. The adjustments from Tony Gibson's defense going to be very interesting to see Spencer, in this second half. A loss of 2 for Montgomery.
Well, they're doing a good job right now. I'm really more so concerned about their offense right now. Again, they're leaving about 18 plays. They're 1 for 7 on third down conversion, Tim. That's 14%. That's very un-West Virginia-like.
2nd and 12. Deontay Jones is in motion. He's looking that way. He goes for Eaton instead. He's got a first down. Matthew Eaton, the senior from Norfolk, Virginia. 22 yards.
Off coverage, again, playing a bail technique. All that means is open, so he can see it. He just tries to turn his hips and goes the opposite direction, does Norwood, and gets turned around.
Iowa State on a roll at the 32. They give it to 32, and he's decked after a 2-yard pickup. Stopped by Dante Stills, 55.
You look at the form, it's been pressure the whole time, but you can see, again, he's looking at his receiver the whole way. No need to look anybody off. The pressure's coming. You know it's coming. But he stands in there confidently and delivers another strike down the field.
Well, you're right. He's 6'1", Spencer, but he stands taller than that.
Man.
He stands taller than 6'1".
And he's thick. He's like a red oak, man. He's so solid.
Nwangwu is checked back in. Has the setback on 2nd and 7. Pump fake and a beauty. He may have Butler now. He runs out of time, and it's incomplete. The pump fake was a beauty. He got that one out just a little late, didn't he? Keith Washington there in coverage along with Kenny Robinson.
Yeah, so you had the left cornerback and the free safety double teaming. So I'm not so sure how smart of a pass that was, but for the fact that the safety's over the top, I give Butler a chance to make that play. You know, he's kind of a 60-40 guy. We talk about 50-50 all the time. Texas has got a couple of 80-20 guys. This Butler's up there, but I'm not so sure with double coverage. That's a good percentage ball. That's an ill-advised pass.
3rd down and 7. Deontay Jones in motion.
Here comes pressure.
Off the edge for Butler, and it's incomplete. Fans didn't like a little jousting going on with Bailey and Butler, but no call, and he's a little lame coming back, Hakeem Butler. But keep an eye on number 18 as he comes to the sidelines now.
Well, yeah, there's a little jousting at the end of it, but the contact looks incidental to me on the back half of that. And Butler not contesting it too much.
They're taking a look at him along the sidelines now as he is a little gimpy over there.
Yeah, boy, I tell you, he is so well put together. Watching him on the sideline, low, narrow waist, high pockets, and really a fast twitch guy.
Maybe just a Charlie horse. They are going to try now the field goal. It's a solid 47 yards. Remember, 37 his longest coming in. The last one blocked, and this one is pushed. So Connor Asali, who had come in having a wonderful year, not a wonderful night.
Let's see how West Virginia responds now if they can get things going, Tim. I talked a minute ago about how they're leaving a lot of plays on the field. As many as 18 if you convert those minimum of 3 plays on 1 of 7 on 3rd down conversion. If they can get most of those back, they get more chances in the hands of those skill set players that now haven't been able to get opportunities because of the futility on 3rd down.
I'm watching Dana Holgerson on the sidelines, Spencer, and you know, talk about, Holly mentioned earlier, he's been leaving games with headaches even after wins. I mean, this has been a root canal for him tonight.
Timmy, he's a volume guy. He wants more plays.
Going with Petaway. He is stoned at the line of scrimmage. That's Hummel again, leading the charge, number 35, sophomore from Des Moines.
Well, you can see Hummel. He's coming right here, and then there's another guy that's coming from back here on the inside. You got pressure 33. Now 35 shows up in that gap, tracking like a laser, reading like a computer, making a great tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
Braxton Lewis, the star. Becker coming with the blitz pressure, and then Hummel polishing up. 2nd and 23.
Same blitz, double gut.
Underneath, it's the screen to Jennings. Stays alive. Gets some extra yardage. Very close. Only maybe 2 yards away from a first down. Eisworth makes the stop. 21 yards.
Well, you can live and die by the blitz. That time West Virginia caught him blitzing. Did a nice job, Will Grier did, of sorting through it all and getting rid of the ball. Just enough protection to plant his feet and make a successful delivery with the ball and catch. 61,000 this building holds. You're hearing from them now.
Petaway. He's going to be a yard away from the first down. Willie Harvey stuck him right at the point of attack. It's fourth down.
He's going to be short. This was a tough call, but it's certainly not in a situation where it's fourth down at this point, the way this game is playing out.
They've been playing behind the chains all night,
Oh,
Spencer.
yeah, that's been the story. We talked about in the first half, they were 1 of 7.
Well, they're 1 out of 9 now.
That's incredible.
Came into the game 4th in college football. 4th. All right, of 129 teams, first in the Big 12 on third down conversions at 57%. They have been snuffed out tonight.
If they convert those, Tim, that's a minimum of 24 additional plays.
Good punt by Kenny, and will roll dead inside the 20. We've come to the end of the quarter. Owned statistically by Iowa State, but the scoreboard never changed. Can West Virginia remain undefeated on what is becoming an upset Saturday in college football? Stay tuned. We'll have the answer next on FS1. I don't believe either one of us would have thought this stat would be true going into the fourth quarter of tonight's game.
Which one of these is the Heisman candidate?
Yeah, it's amazing. And again, you know, in defense of Will Grier, he's had no one to throw to.
No, the coverage has been absolutely beautiful. And talking with John Heacock, the defensive coordinator for Iowa State, he said, we really don't want to talk about what we do.
Yeah.
With respect to their coverage, whatever it is, it's working. I know what it is. It's their stack up front that's causing them problems in coverage as well.
Montgomery eclipsing the 100-yard mark. Something he generally does when he's available to play. Avery pushes him out of bounds.
I think Holly made the point at the top of the show that the best friend of a struggling quarterback is a healthy running back. And then that compliment, and then the first half having the tight end available, producing touchdowns, that's pretty strong.
Well, Purdy did struggle a little in the first couple of series, but he's been on point since. 104 yards.
I'd get into a run play, man. These guards are uncovered. 2nd and 4, invite them to run.
Stopped at the line of scrimmage this time by Campbell again. West Virginia entered this game outscoring teams 62-34 in the third quarter, but nothing tonight. And there you see the numbers. 3 career games against West Virginia, plus 100. Think about this. Since Matt Campbell has been the head coach at Iowa State, they had only scored 1 offensive touchdown against the Mountaineers. That's changed tonight.
That's an amazing stat right there.
That's Deshaunte Jones in motion on 3rd and 3. Purdy house looking that way. Nips up. Flags down. Butler's got it at the 45 and is wrestled to the ground. We'll have to check the flag. Thrown in the West Virginia perimeter. 19-yard gain. But hold everything.
I'm going to give firm numbers from Scott on this, but I can guarantee you at least 70% of the time Purdy has beaten the blitz and completed plays.
See, the flag came behind.
Holding defense. Number 6. That penalty was declined. Play results in a first down.
Yeah, it was thrown on Drayvon Askew Henry behind where the pass was thrown.
82% of the time he's beaten the blitz. Scott, Johnny on the spot with the crack statistics. Oh, man, Scott, he's 82% beating the blitz, and you don't expect that from a true freshman.
No.
This is incredible. Oh, man, that would make you mad.
17 of 24 for 222. A couple of touchdowns and a pick. For Purdy. Montgomery. Lots of green. $20 yards and a first down.
You know, the crazy thing about this inside zone read is what Purdy does. He's carrying out his fakes. A lot of time quarterbacks will get lazy. You watch him again at the mesh point of that play. If we roll that back, you can see how focused he is. Montgomery finishes off the run, but what made that work, in my opinion, is the completeness of the quarterback. Inside zone read gives it, but fakes the throw as well. And you got to see that. You got to honor that if you're the safety.
184 to 56. Nwangwu's in the backfield. Head for a couple, and he was popped pretty good after a gain about 1.5 yards by Hakeem Bailey.
Timmy, here's the previous play I was talking about, the inside zone read. Watch the inside zone read. He leaves it in, but he's still throwing the ball. See, down the field. If I'm safety and I'm reading my cues, I'm not even looking at the runner. By the time I realize that he's got the ball, I'm 2 steps behind and trying to redirect and play catch-up with the guy that's one of the best running backs in the country. That RPO function is unbelievable when it's run by a competent quarterback.
And he is that.
Yes, he is.
Nwangwu is checked back in after the 20-yard rush.
Beautiful.
Looping in. Is it caught?
Yep.
Yes, it is. Deshaunte Jones. Touchdown.
Jones is what they call the M receiver. They've got X and then Z. Then this guy's in the middle, number 8. Tariq Milton's behind him, but Deshaunte Jones is the guy that's going to get the bulk of these. He tracks this ball all the way and goes up and high points it. He's about 3 feet off the ground when he snags it. And number 15 delivered it just like he has all night long.
Going for 2. Wow. To make it a 2-score game, meaning touchdowns and extra points would be needed for West Virginia to tie the game. Sheldon Croney is checked in the backfield. Well, that was a perfectly thrown ball that both Kenny Robinson had a chance at knocking away, but could not, and Avery had a chance. It wasn't as if West Virginia did not have decent coverage, but it was just a better throw and catch. Now for 2. Crossing. Got it. 4-2. Count it. Matthew Eaton. How much do you want it? Purdy popped, and why wouldn't he be? Could be the biggest win here in a long, long time. How about this scene, Spencer?
It's pretty special.
Wow. If you didn't know better, you'd think an Electric Light Orchestra concert was about to break out.
A little ELO, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a beautiful scene here, man. That little bunting, that red bunting around here and all those flashlights up. That's beautiful stuff.
Yeah. It's legitimately an encore for a concert. It really is. Sims is back deep. And it'll be a touchback. Great character guy, as is Will Grier. Let's see if the Heisman hopeful, who's been stymied tonight, can rally his troops as Wesco, Travon Wesco, first time we've seen the tight end targeted, DeAndre Payne right there with him.
Wow.
Look at that. That's just amazing. 32-56 first. I mean, that's just amazing. The time trailing. They had 0 opportunities from playing from behind until tonight. The clock is still running clearly. Grier needs some help. Down he goes again. Spears got him. The redshirt junior linebacker. But that's all about coverage. That's the 6th sack of Will Grier tonight.
Again, press coverage off the line of scrimmage. You can't get over there. Push him out of bounds. I mean, that's just great defensive effort, even on the offside, where it was soft coverage. It was zone underneath that. The combination coverage confusing Will Grier. And, of course, Spears does a tremendous job of closing and making the play. Marcel, at the weak side linebacker position, has been a beast. Been kind of quiet tonight, but he's athletic.
3rd and 14. Grier looking long. Short. His receiver fell. It's incomplete. Or was it picked? It was.
It was picked.
Jennings, the intended receiver, and Payne picked it off. Gary Jennings slipped. And Payne stayed with it. Comes away with a pick. The party is on in Ames. When we say the building is literally jumping, that's what we mean. That's our camera, all right? Now here's the play. Payne with his 2nd interception in his entire career. Both of them against West Virginia. And he got his belt going on there, Spencer T.
Woo! Intercepting, field closing.
Montgomery, so quick.
Boy.
He got some atonement in his mind tonight.
No question.
Montgomery, about a yard, and that's about it. So third down coming up. And you're right, they've slowed this game down. Kenny Bigelow, number 40, made the stop. He's responsible for the biggest play of the night, the blocked field goal that led to a 72-yard touchdown jaunt for Pitts. As you look at the total yards,
Look
it's
at
just
the disparity
amazing.
of that.
Amazing.
That's incredible.
Yeah, they just flipped the script on West Virginia.
Well, West Virginia hasn't had any answers, mainly because they haven't had as many opportunities offensively. That's been the narrative all game long, and been matched pretty much pressure-wise on the defensive side.
This is not at all the same team we saw in Iowa City 3 weeks back. Dante Stills makes that stop near the line of scrimmage.
And clock continues to tick.
They did not have Brock Purdy that night in the Cy-Hawk Trophy game. And they've got him now, and his leadership skills belie his age.
Yeah, he really is. When he came up, he did have that kind of youngness to him. But I think when you look at the tape, you say that that's not a young kid. That's not a true freshman. He's anchored by his faith. He's got a strong narrative, strong supporting cast. As he told us yesterday, he knows he's got tools at the tight end, the wide receiver, and of course, when Montgomery's healthy, at the running back.
Corey Dunn will boot it away. This is an end-over-end variety. Sims makes the fair catch inside the 10. 42-yard boot. Well, here it is. You want to remain undefeated? You've got 7:28 left. You've got to answer the bell. To this point, you've been cycloned. 28-14. Much of what West Virginia had in mind when coming in to tonight's game. They missed out on their game with North Carolina State, you might recall. But they were 5-0 with a lot ahead of them at number 6 in the country. And this young man touted for the Heisman Trophy with tremendous numbers. They flipped the script on him tonight. Kennedy McCoy is in the backfield. And McCoy will take it. Part of the issue has been the inability to get anything done on the ground. Braxton Lewis makes the tackle. Think about this. West Virginia's 11th possession of the night right now. Okay, most plays of any drive, and it happened on 2 occasions, 5 plays. That's the longest drive they've had in tonight's game in 11 possessions.
Well, when we were talking our time with the coaches on the phone, we were talking more about red zone efficiency or lack thereof. They can't even get to the red zone.
This is only their 9th first down that McCoy just picked up. Bubble screen.
He went to a knee.
Yeah, he did. Marcus Sims is going to be marked for a loss because he did go down to his knee. And very obvious that you see Sims down on that knee. Tried to pick it up quickly, but could not.
Left knee was clearly down.
I mean, explosive plays are what West Virginia's all about. Well, they need them right now. Grier sacked again. 7th time tonight. Mike Rose gets him, the inside linebacker. This is a freshman that's really played big out of Brecksville, Ohio.
Well, Mike Rose is inside, and it's really tough to see him from that angle, but he is all over the place. Here's coverage look again. Everybody's wrapped up again. It's because of that inside pressure. Number 23 did a fantastic job of shutting it down.
Now from his end zone.
There's a flag.
Flag is down again. Now, if that happened in the end zone, it's safety.
Yeah, that's going to be a safe attempt.
They got him again. The marker is in the end zone, and it is holding, and if it is while he was in the end zone, it is a safety. Watch the left tackle, Kajust.
Here's Kajust right there working inside. He gets that right hand and hooks him.
Yeah, that's
kind of takes him down too,
yeah.
And when he spins around.
That's Spencer Benton, 58, he had wrapped up. Here's the call from David Alvarez. Shocked if it's not anything but a safety.
Holding. Offense. Number 55. The foul occurred in the end zone. Safety.
season goes by so quickly. It was, instead of 3 weeks ago, it was more like a month, maybe 5 weeks ago when we saw them last. Have you ever seen a resurrection of a team in terms of its offense and its swagger from Iowa State and Iowa that we had way back in September to now?
It's a testament to Matt Campbell and his coaching and his staff's ability. This defensive stop unit did a fantastic job. John Heacup, the defensive coordinator, had to totally deconstruct this defense last year. Said it made him nervous. One of the most challenging things he's had to do in his career. And what they've done today is put on a clinic on both sides of the ball. And over the last 2 years, you've got wins over Oklahoma, TCU, and perhaps the number 6 ranked team in the nation tonight.
And I really do, in a lot of ways. Will Grier, we had such a wonderful conversation with him. He's a great kid with marvelous stories. West Virginia, in my mind, has always been one of those programs that's always undersold and undervalued by many. It's a great program, really. Through the years, it's had its opportunities. But this team has been thoroughly whipped in every phase of the game tonight. Tariq Milton takes a knee as he's receiving the free kick. I loved the conversation with John Heacup when we talked with him about what it looks like, what the three cloud appears to be. And basically, Tony Gibson's done the same thing. Right. He just blitzed more out of it as you see Purdy slide and fall. And he said, I know it looks preventive, but to say preventive or prevent is a negative connotation. All right. And when you look at it may look preventive, but it's still aggressive, and those 7 sacks has a lot to that has a lot to do with it.
And you give me 9 TFLs. That shows you what the attitude and the spirit of the defense. As you look at John, he's pacing the sidelines, but he's really comfortable on the other side. Got to be pleased with his collective effort from his stop unit tonight.
Between the sacks and the tackles for loss, it has been total domination. Score is actually closer at 30-14 than the whipping that Iowa State's put on them. It's another first down for Montgomery. 11 yards for him. And how about Brock Purdy?
Well, he has been Purdy, and there's a ball that indicative of his gift to throw the ball and then to deal with the pressure and put one in the corner to Butler, who has been all over the place. The tight end played a feature role in the first half. Out of Norman, Oklahoma. How did you get him out of there? Lincoln Riley. He's a baller. Number 15. He's a player, man. Good God, he's good. You don't have to worry about that from this group.
There goes Montgomery again. Boy, he is something special. That's a jaunt to the 40. He's 3 yards shy of a first down. How about this for a wacky Saturday, all right? In the top 10, this is what happened. LSU returns the favor after losing as a top 5 team a week ago at the Swamp. Notre Dame barely gets past Pitt. Penn State drops one to Michigan State, who couldn't beat Northwestern at home in a game we had last week. And look, there are a few other games of undefeated teams outside the top 10. UCF just escaped at Memphis in a driving rainstorm.
After the play,
and Oregon wins in overtime.
Number 51 pulling the player off the pile. The down count, 15-yard penalty, second down.
And what that means is that the Oregon-Washington State game, partner, that you and I and Holly will have
pivotal
next week, may control the outcome of the Northern Division of the Pac-12 in a lot of respects. And it will be a triple hitter day of college football on Fox. We'll be back with you in prime time on Fox next week. Colorado playing USC next, and that has a lot to say about what's going to go in the South Division of the Pac-12. Joe Davis and Brady Quinn and Bruce Feldman, our colleagues, will have that one for you as soon as we are done here. Second and 18. Montgomery ahead for about 3 yards.
Tim, this is just rough math, but I think to this point, Dana Holgerson's team, his defense in particular, have had more yards put on them tonight than they have in any game this year so far. And it's
Yeah, I mean, the X factor, we had said this was a different West Virginia team. Probably the best defense that Tony Gibson has had, admittedly. Jake Spavital felt really good offensively that, you don't have to score 50 every week to win because the defense is playing so well. Right. But this young man who really shocked Oklahoma State upon his arrival, has now done it again, and this time after going through a week of everyone understanding he's the starter, he's the guy. Look at that, 2,521 days ago, last time they beat a top 10 foe. Yeah, they're ready to storm this field.
Well, you know, confidence comes from demonstrated ability. We talk about that a lot. And in these last 2 weeks, there's nobody that has made the case and developed more confidence in their game than has Brock Purdy. Times change.
By the way, he started this run with 169. He'll be well past that, a career high of better than 180 yards on the ground. David Montgomery.
Well, they love him, Tim, because of his patience, his ability to see where he needs to go. You know, we talk about, who does he remind you of? I'm going old school on you, next level. No, you don't like next level topic. Edgerrin James, slow to, fast through. Coach Campbell says, yeah, that's my boy.
That's 189 yards for him. And I tell you, Spencer, that offensive line that was patchwork early in the year, they've settled down now. They're getting what they want. And Purdy wraps this one up in Purdy fashion. Take a look at this.
Oh, they're rushing the field.
They'll be singing more than Sweet Caroline tonight in Ames, Iowa, but Sweet Caroline sounds pretty good to the faithful right now. So often, Spencer, on programs that have brand names. Iowa State has always been one of those forgotten programs. The last big win I remember them having was a Thursday night game against Oklahoma State, who seemed bound for a national championship opportunity. But by losing that game, it enabled Alabama to play for the national championship. You recall that?
Absolutely.
This is as big a night tonight as it was that night for this program under Matt Campbell.
And to see the unbridled passion of the fans participating in this, it makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck, Timmy. This is what college football is all about.
So while you're thinking about who's in, who's not, remember, college football is about evolution. What you thought you knew, you may not know from week to week. How about that? Matt Campbell in year 3, jumping for joy. He's got his quarterback. He's got his freshman who's going to be here for quite some time, singing quite a song. And for Will Grier, a tough night for the senior transfer. But like Purdy, he's got his act together, and you can only imagine how West Virginia approaches atonement in the weeks that follow in the Big 12. For Holly Saunders, Spencer Tillman, Tim Brando, and our entire Fox crew, our final 30-14. This is why we love the game. Despite who wins, we always have special moments. Right now, let's get you back to Los Angeles. One more hug downstairs. Oh, my mama and papa. Let's get you back to Rob Stone in Los Angeles.